Today I want to talk to you about the 10 leading causes of death, and we've already talked about this in another episode. And I will list these from number 1 to number 10. So heart, cancer, accidents. This does not include self-harm or suicide. COVID, stroke, chronic lower respiratory diseases such as asthma, COPD, Alzheimer's, diabetes, kidney disease, and liver disease. Those are the top 10. So currently in the United States, we have an estimated population of about 347 million, give or take. And of those top 10, there are 3 front runners, really. So if you look at the top 10, if you just took heart, cancer, and stroke, do you know that those 3 things account for almost 51% of all deaths in the United States today? Heart, cancer, and stroke. Well, what do we know about these? We know that certain things increase our risk for heart, cancer, and stroke. One is being overweight or obese. One is smoking. You could add alcohol in there, so alcohol intake, that could also be in there. Heart disease is the number 1 killer. We know this by far. In 2022, the CDC put out stats that I think it was 695,000 people died of heart disease. It took 695 lives, which is about 27% of the population. Cancer took about 605,000, which is 17.6% of the population. And stroke took about 162,000, which is we'll just say 4.7% of the population. So add those all up and you get over 50% of the population of the deaths that occur. And that was 2022. I believe it's estimated in 2025. They've kind of crunched numbers and they've kind of trended the current statistics in 2022 out. And I think it's estimated that there's going to be close to almost 1 million people die of heart disease in 2025. So it comes in at like 941,000 and some change. That's huge. That's a huge increase. So we're going in the wrong direction. We already know this. What's contributing? Highly processed foods, drive-thrus, junk food, high energy drinks, like the caffeinated drinks, smoking, alcohol intake, not getting enough exercise, not getting enough sleep, stressful jobs. And I mean, we could dive so deep into this topic and we could go over these really individually. Is probably something I should do. And the doctors we really don't know about these things. We know, but we don't know. So typically when you go to the doctor, let's say you're younger, healthier, you go to the doctor because you're having headaches, you're not feeling well, you've noticed that your blood pressure's up a little bit, maybe you're stressed at work, you go to the doctor, they give you a log and they go, okay, go home, take your blood pressure, and come back and see me in 2 to 3 weeks and bring your log with. So you do that and you take your log and they look at it and they go, okay, well, you have sustained high blood pressure. So we're going to put you on, you now have high blood pressure. So you've just been branded with high blood pressure. So it's going to be in your medical records. They're going to put you on medication and they're going to send you home and go, okay, here you go. And the medication, maybe or maybe not, it controls it. You might have to try a couple of different medications before you actually get one that actually works. So, but let's just say it works. And so you crank along, you go, oh, no big deal. I'm back down to normal again. I can continue eating what I eat. But the harm is being done. It's kind of like having an injury on a tendon or maybe a joint, and you go to the doctor and you go, Doc, go ahead and shoot me full of steroids because this is really painful and I'm going to keep on working out and I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing so I don't feel the pain because of the steroids because it reduces some of the inflation, but now you're injuring yourself even further. Well, it's kind of the same thing with medication. So the doctors will give us the medication and they explain to us, you have high blood pressure and that can lead to other things, right? But they never really, they don't, and this is not the doctor's fault, they don't have time to educate the patient because of their time constraints per patient and how they have to do things in order to bill the amount they need to bill to keep their doors open and everyone paid. They have got to get you in and out in roughly 10 minutes. So they book appointments every 15 minutes. And I don't care whether you're a specialist or whether you're a primary care provider, typically those appointments are being booked for every 15 minutes. So it's like it's a cattle process. They're just running them through. And so they don't have time to educate. And some doctors don't even know. I mean, they know, but they don't. So they don't have time to educate at all the general population. So you know you have high blood pressure and you think, oh, big deal, you know, I already knew this was coming. My family, they all have high blood pressure. So I knew I was going to get it. It was just a question of when. And so you accept that and you continue eating how you're eating, drinking your alcohol, smoking your cigarettes, doing whatever you're doing because your medication has now got you back down to an acceptable, let's just say 120/80, right? So you're thinking it's all good. But is it really? It's not. That pill is acting like that steroid shot. Yes, you have the numbers that you want, but you're still doing the damage because you're still smoking, you're still eating highly processed food, and you're still doing the things that you're doing that cause that in the first place. Whether it be, excuse me, whether it be weight gain, you're overweight or obese, and you know, you're still going to eat the pint of ice cream, the bag of chips, you're still going to eat that 15-ounce ribeye. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And we wonder, well, why didn't the doctor tell me this? Because you don't really know until you get to that place where you look back and go, Oh, the light bulb turns on, right? If I'd have known that then, because now I've gone through this course, I would have changed something then. But no one ever told me. And we kind of wait for people to tell us. Yes, we hear stuff, we can go online and we can look things up, but is really, with all the misinformation out on the internet and the one, is it trusting? Two, can you trust it? Do you even want to know it? Because some people go, oh, just stay off the internet. What are you doing? Oh, if you're looking these things up and you care about your health and you're actually diving in and reading and trying to figure these things out, maybe your family or your friends say, oh my God, you're a hypochondriac, stop it. You have high blood pressure. Everyone has high blood pressure. And we're just supposed to accept it. Like, this is the thing. But the thing is, high blood pressure is called the silent killer for a reason, because it leads to heart disease, it leads to kidney disease, it leads to strokes, it can lead to cancer, it can lead to all those things. Being overweight compounds the issue. What you're eating compounds the issue. If you're smoking, compounds the issue. If you're drinking, it compounds the issue. So we don't change our behavior, and we expect this pill to just correct everything and for everything to be okay, but it's not. Because no one sits down and says, okay, we need someone in our office to sit down because you were just diagnosed with high blood pressure. So we need you to sit down with one of the nurse educators, and we need to walk you through what this actually means if you stay on the course you're on. That would be a great thing, right? But number one, doctors' offices aren't going to afford that extra nurse on the payroll to educate the patients because they don't care. Patients come and go. They have more patients. When they get booked up, they stop taking patients. When they have openings, they open back up for patient intake, taking new patients. I mean, it's this hamster wheel. And who gets left out of everything? The patient. So let's take high blood pressure. If I would have known high blood pressure causes your heart valves to leak and not function properly, or it can cause damage to the kidneys. Like, I did not know that, like, years ago, before I had any medical training. I did not know. I seriously did not know. And all of those things can happen. If you go to the doctor and you go, oh, I'm tired. I wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air. I snore. My spouse or partner or significant other, fill in the blank, is waking me up because they think I'm not breathing. And so the doctor goes, oh, well, you might have sleep apnea. Let's do a test. You go for your test, the results come back, and oh my goodness, you have sleep apnea. And not only do you have sleep apnea, maybe there's two kinds of sleep apnea. There's the obstructive sleep apnea, in which your trachea kind of collapses to where you're not moving your air. And there's a centralized sleep apnea where your brain shuts off and stops your systems, meaning it doesn't tell your lungs to breathe. It doesn't. That's the dangerous kind. So maybe you have both. Maybe they caught both on the home test. So the doctor goes, okay, well, you're going to need a CPAP machine, and here you go. Take the CPAP machine. And so usually you'll have a sleep specialist recommend the setting for the sleep mask, and they go, okay, well, you just need to wear this every single night. And they don't tell you really anything. They just say, you need to wear this every single night. But then you get the machine and you struggle, right? Because you have this full face mask on, you have this short hose, you can't turn over, you're restricted in your sleep. So you're getting poor sleep. And you struggle and you go, oh my God, I haven't slept in nights. I'm not using this machine. And you just stop using it. Well, no one educated you, right? So they didn't pull you in and go, okay, here's a nurse educator. We're going to educate you on sleep apnea and what this could mean for you now and in the future, should it progress. Well, no one told me that I had to actually ask for my test. I had actually told my doctor that I was waking up gasping for air, like I just wasn't breathing. And I had to say, could this be sleep apnea? And finally, they wrote me a script to go have a home study. So I got that set up and I had a home study. And of course, I had both types of sleep apnea. I had the obstructive because of the weight gain. And then I had the centralized, which my brain was just shutting off. It just shut off. Like I quit breathing in the middle of the night. I would just stop breathing. And there were several of those in the middle of the night. So my report came back and it was like moderate sleep apnea. So I had a machine. Then you have to fight the insurance, and the insurance won't purchase the machine. You have to rent the machine. And in order to continue renting the machine, you have to prove to them that you have a certain amount of usage, right? You can't take a teddy bear and put your mask on a teddy bear if it's not working for you, right? And get your usage. That's not how that works. They can tell if someone's not wearing the mask. And so they'll take the machine back. So we're in this cycle of, number one, not knowing what this leads to. And you're thinking, sleep apnea, okay, big deal. I snore at night. And you think that's what it is. But it's so much more. But you just didn't know because you weren't educated. And then when you did go out and educate yourself, you realized, once it went on for years, you realize that sleep apnea can cause AFib. That's right. Sleep apnea can cause AFib. So atrial fibrillation, what I just had the heart procedure for, it can cause it. So if you're overweight and you have the trachea collapse, sleep apnea can cause AFib. That can be one of the contributing factors. I didn't know that. I would have worn that mask every single night without fail. So I wouldn't have to go through the arrhythmia event and the surgery that I went through. And we do this with everything. We go to the doctor, we get diagnosed, they don't have time to educate us. We try to go home, we try to get online, we try to look, but we don't know what we can trust. So we're left to our own devices to try to navigate this healthcare environment, which is so messed up, so poor, in my opinion. And I'm just going to say there are some really good doctors and really good nurses, and there's some really bad doctors and really bad nurses. Again. And insurance really dictates what you can and can't do. They really dictate who gets to live and who doesn't. Insurance companies. And I want you to look at the top, and I want you to look at the top Fortune companies on the Fortune list. Just in the top, just say Fortune 20 or Fortune 25. Most of them are insurance companies. I think the number one company is United Healthcare, or Optum, which is United Healthcare. They make the most money. Not tech companies. No, it's insurance companies. And they get to dictate who lives and who dies, who they're paying for and who they're not. They get to dictate if you're a cancer patient and you go in and you want a double mastectomy. They get to say, no, we're not giving you a double mastectomy. We're only going to do a single because that's all we're going to pay for. Instead of, what do you want, Alicia? What do you want to happen? What's going to be the best outcome for the patient? It's all about the money. It's all about the profit, the bottom line. And it's sad that our healthcare system has come to this. But, and when you go in to a hospital, if you have good insurance, you're taken care of. If you don't, you're kicked to the curb as soon as they stabilize you. And sometimes even before then. So there's patient dumping all the time. Because let's say someone is uninsured and they go in with say the police are called, someone's down out on the street and they load them in, they're unconscious, they load them into an ambulance and they go, oh yeah, that's so-and-so, because the frequent flyers are known in the ERs, and they're like, yeah, that's so-and-so, yeah, he doesn't have insurance. Yeah, we're just going to run some fluids through him, get this, that, and the other, and we're going to wake him up and we're going to dump him. And that's kind of what happens. Even though there are laws, EMTALA, that are supposed to be put in place to protect patients and patient rights, it doesn't go that way because most patients don't know their rights. And when you go into the hospital and they give you this whole booklet of patient rights, have you ever read it? Do you ever read it? Do you take time to read it before you go, okay, I'll have that surgery, or okay? No, because you're in an emergent situation, you're going in, you either can't breathe, you think you're having a heart attack. Are you going to sit and read your patient right brochure? No, but you're signing for it. So that's how our healthcare system is. It's flawed. And we as people, we as patients, we're the ones paying for it, yet we're not getting what we need. So if we know that the top 51% of the deaths in the United States occur within just 3 diseases, heart, stroke, and cancer, and we know what causes those things, we need to probably stay away from those things, but we don't. And one of those things is processed food. It's nutrition. And I say all along, nutrition is the key to health. It really is. And I've learned this my whole entire life. I've been up and down. Like, I was completely plant-based and lost a lot of weight. And then I got back on meat, and I got back on the highly processed foods, and everything spiked, and then I went down again, and everything. Every time I went down into a valley and I corrected myself, I knew nutrition was the key. It can solve a lot of problems, and in some cases reverse diseases. Yes, it can reverse or help reverse diseases. So used to, doctors said, once you have diabetes, that's it. You have diabetes. You're just going to have to, be on medication and insulin your whole entire life, and you're never going to be able to do. Well, they found now that with the proper diet and the proper exercise, that people are now reversing their diabetes. They're lowering their medication thresholds. They're lowering their need for all these medications. And some are even coming off altogether. That's incredible. So we have an opportunity here. We just have to seize it. And in order to seize it, we have to understand it. In order to understand it, we have to really kind of research it, right? But we don't want to do that because we don't have time. Time is money, Alicia. I don't have time. I'm too tired. I'm doing too much. I don't have time. Well, ask yourself, can you take 30 minutes a week, or maybe 30 minutes twice a week, and just not binge Netflix or not binge your reality TV show or watch football, and take that time to just research maybe some things that are in your health arena that you're dealing with, and things that might help you, and not just rely on pills. And when I talk about pills, I'm talking about nutraceuticals as well. So your supplements, your proteins, your collagens, your probiotics, those are nutraceuticals. Your vitamins and minerals, those are all nutraceuticals. It's a pill. If you can, get it in a whole food form. Whether it be your meats, whether it be vegetables, grains, legumes, so forth and so on. It's better to eat the actual food, the whole food, than try to say, that's okay, I'll do what I want to do, I'll continue drinking my 2 scotches a night, or my bottle of wine a night, or whatever it is, or smoking my cigarettes or my cigars, or vaping, or I'll continue sitting on my butt and not doing anything, and maybe, Zoe, do you have your mouse? And maybe take, play another video game. Stay up all night binging something. Sitting on the couch watching reality TV instead of getting out and moving and walking. And you could do it as a family. You could say, okay, we're all going for a walk. Not that the kids would want to go out and walk with the parents, because that would be pretty boring, but they could get out and walk. They could take their phones and listen to music. So you could still do it as a family. 3 or 4 times a week, you could get out, you could walk, you could get some steps in. It would be a good time to talk about issues. If maybe you or your husband or your partner decided, hey, let's go walk and we're going to talk while we walk, that would be a good undivided attention to where you could just talk about things, life, what's happening, what's going on with the kids, what's going on at your job, how you feel, how you don't feel. We have some opportunity here. We just have to try to figure out how to slow down, how to stop, and how to make it happen. And I know that everyone wants to make it happen, because if you're watching this and you're younger than I am, you still have opportunity to course correct. Take it from me, course correct now. Don't wait till later, because pulling it back at 61 is, it's difficult and it's hard, but it can be done. So if you have ever had a situation to where maybe you were diagnosed with something, and if the doctors had only told you that it could go into something else, put it down in the comments below. I would love to hear about it. Till next time.